Have you ever heard of Bombay cats? They're these incredible creatures, sleek and elegant, with fur as black and shiny as polished obsidian. They move like panthers, silent and graceful, and their big, copper-colored eyes seem to see everything, especially in the dark. They're often called parlor panthers for a reason. This story is about one such cat, a hero named Shadow, and it proves that sometimes the quietest observers are the ones who see the most. Our story unfolds in a small, cozy apartment, the kind you find in any busy city. This was the kingdom of a Bombay cat named Shadow. For years, this was his world. Shadow wasn't your typical, playful kitten. He was the embodiment of calmness, a creature of habit and observation. He had his routines down to a science. A morning stretch in the sunbeam by the window, an afternoon nap on his favorite armchair, and quiet evenings spent watching his family. He rarely made a sound, preferring to listen and watch. Even when he slept, it was a light, alert kind of sleep, as if one ear was always tuned to the whispers of the house. Then the family grew. A baby boy named Noah arrived, bringing with him a new kind of energy, a new rhythm to the apartment. Shadow, ever the observer, adapted. He watched the tiny human with intense curiosity. He learned the scent of baby powder, the soft gurgle of a happy baby, and the gentle rock of the crib. He made the nursery part of his nightly patrol, a silent sentinel watching over the newest member of his family. One night, an unusual stillness settled over the apartment. It was late, the city outside had quieted down, and everyone was asleep. But tonight something was wrong. An unsettling feeling prickled at Shadow's senses. He focused on Noah, his ears swiveling to catch the faintest sound, the baby's breathing. That was it. It wasn't the steady, rhythmic sound he was used to hearing. It was irregular, shallow, and alarmingly soft. He watched for a moment, his feline intuition screaming that this was not right. Then, he acted. He went straight to the nursery door. He didn't scratch it like a cat wanting to be let out. He didn't playfully bat at it. He began to push against it with his paws, a determined, rhythmic shoving motion. He put his whole body into it, pushing again and again. The door, however, was firmly closed. It didn't budge. Realizing his silent efforts weren't working, Shadow did something he almost never did. He opened his mouth and let out a meow. But this wasn't his usual soft, questioning sound. It was a loud, sharp, urgent cry that sliced through the suffocating silence of the night. It was a sound of alarm, a desperate call for help that was completely out of character for the quiet cat. He cried out again, the sound echoing down the short hallway. The unusual sound jolted Noah's parents from their sleep. They knew Shadow. They knew his quiet nature. A noise like that from him meant something was seriously wrong. They scrambled out of bed and rushed into the nursery, their hearts pounding. The scene that greeted them made their blood run cold. In their haste to make sure Noah was warm and cozy, his baby blanket had been tucked in a little too high. Sometime during the night, it had shifted, and a corner of it had fallen across Noah's face, covering his nose and mouth. The parent reacted instantly, snatching the blanket away. Freed from the obstruction, Noah took a deep, gasping breath, followed by a loud, healthy wail. The sound of his crying was the most beautiful sound they had ever heard. Relief washed over them in a powerful wave. And what about Shadow? In the midst of the commotion, as the parents soothed their crying baby, the little black cat had simply stepped back. He melted into the shadows of the room, finding a quiet corner to sit. He sat there, perfectly still, his job done. His copper eyes, bright and watchful, never left the crib until he was sure everything was okay. He was once again the silent observer, the quiet protector. From that night on, the family's love and respect for Shadow deepened into something more profound, absolute trust. They understood that his quietness wasn't aloofness. It was vigilance. They paid closer attention to his subtle cues, knowing that his instincts were sharper than their own. He had proven that he wasn't just a pet. He was a guardian, a vital member of their family who watched over them in ways they couldn't even comprehend. Shadow's story is a powerful reminder. It teaches us that heroism doesn't always come with loud sirens and flashing lights. It doesn't always involve grand dramatic gestures. Sometimes rescue is silent. It comes from a quiet watcher in the dark, a loyal companion who notices the tiny details that others miss. It comes from the unwavering love of an animal who asks for nothing but gives everything. So next time you see a quiet cat watching the world go by, remember Shadow? You never know what they might be seeing. Thanks for watching. If you love this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a reminder of the quiet heroes all around us. See you in the next video.